And I imagine there's more than just one. But I respect that, and I respect your position. I understand where you stand and why you stand there too.
Okay, my name is John Baird, and switching gears a little bit from doom and gloom. I think in this room we have probably 100% taxpayers. I don't think anybody here is under the entitlement system. That's one word that really irks me every time I hear it. Is entitlement and immigration. For some reason they're both vowels. Okay. We're kicking out all this kind of money to people that shouldn't even be in this country. And I'm curious of what you and yours are doing about it. And I would like to know personally what your definition is of illegal. Because mine is, coming from a law enforcement background, is either you follow the laws of this country and the state and the county, etc., or you don't. And if you don't, you're in prison, you're in county jail, or whatever. They just got done passing a law here in California that now we're going to start supporting people going to college that aren't even citizens. And you drive down the street over here and you see people living under bridges, you see them living in cars, and these people are citizens of this country, and we're not taking care of them.
Some of them are vets.
So, for that matter, many of them are vets. And the thing is, we're going to have a pile of vets that are unstable here real soon behind these wars that are going on. But what irks me is we're giving away money, and it may be minuscule in regards to your pie chart, but I think being that, 40-some-odd% of the citizenry pay taxes as compared to those who don't. Personally, as a tax-paying American citizen, a veteran, and a retired person, I'm sick of paying somebody else's dues when all they do is have their hand out.
Amen.
And I would like to see somebody get up there and do a Nancy Reagan one-liner and say, no, stop. Because I don't know how people lived back in the 30s and 40s, or early 40s, 20s and 30s, and how they got by without having their hand out. I never heard about people starving all over this country. There were people that came to their aid with church groups and relatives and whatnot, but now we've developed a culture of dependence. Okay? And I think the taxpayers are sick of it, and I would like to see some focus placed on that just to get a grassroots thing going on. Because personally, I'm sick of politics. I'm sorry, sir, but all these pie charts and whatever in regards to debt limit, because I'm still paying taxes. And all these people in this room are still paying taxes. And for what? For people who don't? For people who have their hand out? Because all these people who have their hand out are having something put in them. And I tire of it.
Well, first I agree with you. And my premise on the pie charts is to show exactly what is happening to America, because what he just stated is my greatest fear is this country is going to become a European-style country. And why I said it was a short time frame, because 47% of this country pays nothing in. The top 1% of all taxpayers pay 38%. The top 10% pay 70%. Now, I believe we need to have tax reform where everybody pays something in. Everybody that's in here that's a citizen American needs to pay something. You love this country, be a part of it. It makes you stronger. Now, your premise with immigration, I agree with you. And this is my premise. I always think you should deal in principles. And I try to do that as much as possible. And to apply the principle into something very common to show that the strength of why it is. One of the greatest strengths of America is its rule of law. Even in our darkest days of our financial crisis, people still took their money invested in America because of the rule of law. You'd be supported. The idea of illegal immigration, you're creating generations that are breaking the rule of law. But what happens, just like where debt builds up and becomes such a big problem, but when you break down the rule of law over generations, you will break all of society. So, I agree with your argument. Agree with your point. Listen, I hear you in all the other things. I wish things moved faster as well. But I'll tell you this. I go back and forth each week. I believe you need to be held accountable and come before the people. But I wouldn't care as much and think the same way that you do. I wouldn't have spent my time going across the country when I watched what was happening to recruit other people to grab the gavel to make the change. We're there. I wish the gavel banged faster. I wish we got there faster, but hold our feet to the fire and we're still going. One thing I don't want to have happen as we climb to the shiny city on the hill, that we pull ourselves back. We need to all be climbing together. And you raise a great point.
Kevin,
Sorry.
one of my questions is, I believe there are those in Washington and in our state government that wants to cause mass confusion. And mass confusion causes mass crisis. James Carville just said that he believes that we will have demonstrations in the streets if the entitlement programs are cut. Now, my question to you is, if you're sitting in this chair and you're 70-some years old, what would you do? Because I'm not trusting you to correct this mess. We've done that for the last 50 years, and it's gotten us into this mess. So what would you do if you were John Doe, American citizen? You've traveled around and stuff. What would you do?
This is what I do. If you're 70, I would engage. And first of all, I'd get all the information. Just as I go about doing a bill, I don't let one person tell me what it is. I take people that are on the other side of where I think I am and have them come in and play devil's advocate and make the argument. So I play the devil's argument on our budget itself. But they're saying that because they want scare tactics. That's how you win races, but that's not how you save a country. It's going to go bankrupt. First of all, take the actuaries and read it all. It is going bankrupt. More money is being spent than goes in. 10,000 people a day are getting on it. You know, Madoff went to jail for a Ponzi scheme. All right? So then what does the Republican plan do? It says if you're 55 or older, nothing changes for you. If you're 55 or younger, what we're going to do for you, and when they call it a voucher, they're lying. It is not a voucher. What we do inside the house, you are my employers. I work for the government. You supply, like other companies, a certain dollar amount, and then I have all these plans to choose from. Now my wife and I can choose a plan, but you still give me the same dollar amount. When my kids were younger, I looked for a plan that dealt with braces. When we get older, I look for a plan that deals for us. All right? But it's my choice. I get to choose every year. I like that. I like to have choice. Just like I like to when I get my cable. I like to pick different packages of what I want and what I don't want to have. It empowers me more. So what we're saying is we're going to utilize that. Because there's two different ways to do this. And I think we have to think differently. The way the president's planned, he's put a 15-person panel, and he's just going to ratchet down the cost. So how do you ratchet down the cost? What do you need? You need to, oh no, you're too old. You can't have it anymore. You start rationing. Well, what happens when you start rationing? You don't get innovation. So we say, look, if you're sicker, we're going to help you more. If you're poor, maybe we help you a little more, not other. But you're going to be in the mix. We're going to be able to do this, but we're going to use the private sector well. The government never gives you the check, so it's never a voucher. You provide the company, and you use the competition to drive the cost down. The other way we need to think is we need to think anew the way Abraham Lincoln did. Don't just thinking, okay, these costs are going to rise. Okay, how do we just curb the cost? Why are the costs rising? What if we changed our tax code system that just like when we wanted to go to the moon, that we say we go cure cancer? How much would that save in Medicare? What if you cured heart disease? Start curing things. That's the American way you go about it too. All right, last question. So I got to give a graduation speech. I can't be late.
Oh well, this is kind of a current thing that's happening, but.